The Backrooms might be infinite. The movie might be over.
But the conversation is just getting started. Welcome back to Parking Lot Takes. That's Brandon. I'm Christian. And the podcast about parking lots. And hotter movies.
In hotter movie. No.
We're going to find it one of these days.
It's one of these days. It's below average takes and hotter
parking lots. Yep. All right.
We're going to talk about Backrooms.
Backrooms. Are we talking about anything else?
Nope.
We forgot to plan.
We didn't play it.
One other
I'm
thing.
just so ready to talk about Backrooms.
All right. So I guess that means we can get right into
we can roll
Backrooms.
We'll see what else we got to talk about.
Let me think in my brain hole. I saw Obsession.
Oh, talk about Obsession.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
I want to
saw
hear your
Obsession.
experience with Obsession. I will be watching
Obsession's
it.
probably the scariest movie I've ever seen.
What? Really?
Without a doubt. I am not a horror movie person, so let me preface this. I have not seen Hereditary. I have not seen any of Conjuring, so I understand that standard might be low for me. Obsession
Fair, yeah.
freaked me the frick out. I made
Why?
Sierra come home. I came home and made Sierra turn on all the lights.
Are you terrified of your wife now?
I was scared. Oh, yeah. I was like, I need to know, because sometimes Sierra will try to scare me.
Oh,
And I was
dude.
just like calling to be like, I'm just going to let you know
Don't.
that's not one of these days. And I will go to jail, probably, just because I'll freak out.
Oh my gosh, she's set up to do the funniest thing.
Oh,
though,
yeah.
is to just make you
so
poop your
I
pants.
came in. I came into the car after the movie, sat there, and I contemplated texting my wife about that, because
Yeah.
I'm like, either she'll listen to me
or she will scare
or
the
she
living
will scare
out of
me.
you.
So I was conflicted with what I should do. So I was a little nervous about that, but
That's so funny.
all's well. It turned out fine, but
Turned out
I was
okay.
pretty scared.
What did you think of the movie though?
Very good.
Really?
Very good movie. Absolutely worth all the hype, for sure. Very brilliantly acted. The brilliance of Obsession to me lies in none of the jump scares. It's how creepy they make normal, because they set Nikki up, the character Nikki, from the beginning to act one way.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, as an audience member, feel it's different. Like, it is just never the same.
Yeah.
Like, they do such a good job establishing her from the get-go.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't say her after the wish, for a lot of it, she's not weird or like out of normal,
Yeah.
but it's different, and it's like brilliantly, like so subtly different.
Yeah.
And then they just start turning that knob. Oh my gosh, I was freaked out. It just
Ugh.
freaked me out. From the get-go, when he makes the wish,
Yeah.
and she just like, because it all kind of hinges on he like really wants to ask her out, doesn't, makes the wish flippantly, might I add.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is gonna work, whatever. Like kind of just like, oh, I just wish this, boom. And
Okay, quick pause. The One Wish Willow, how is that set up? Is it just like a gimmicky toy, funny, random thing?
super random.
Okay, so yeah.
Just
So
like
he thinks,
in a
it's
store.
just
No, he
whatever.
doesn't think it's real. There isn't people. So there's a conversation I had with somebody who was like, I think as soon as he makes the wish, Bear, the main character, is a bad person. Completely disagree with you, because he doesn't think that's gonna.
thinks it's just
why
a
would
fake,
he?
like,
Right? Why would
whatever,
Why would
I
he be a
wish.
bad person? I said that means if you ever wish for someone to like you at a water fountain, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. No, he's a bad person when he realizes
Yeah.
the wish worked, when he
Mhm.
fully comes to that like conversation with himself where he's like, oh snap, my wish worked. And
Yeah.
then everything after the fact, and they give you a very hard cut and dry version of that. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's basically, he realizes it and Nikki's like, is that a problem? And he says, no. And it cuts to them having sex.
Mm.
So that's like a very clear over the line.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yes.
That's where he messed.
Yes.
That's where he
Yeah.
became the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
But like I think they just write it so well to where you would just believe that he thinks he's just the luckiest guy on the planet. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't
It
think
works.
that wish worked. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Mhm.
He just thinks he's like, oh, cool. No, he doesn't.
Crazy
The
coincidence. I
if
wish
anyone,
this, and
if
she's actually into me.
anyone willing to say, "Oh, he's a bad person just for making the wish," and he didn't pick up on it immediately,
Yeah.
I really challenge you to be like, I just seriously doubt
Yeah.
any of you would really think your shooting star or your coin fountain wish
wishbone at
actually
Thanksgiving.
worked.
Yeah.
I just don't even. I mean, like I remember I would be like, one time I was like, made an ultimatum, like, what was it? Like one time I was going on vacation and I was talking to Sierra. We weren't dating yet. And I was just like, if she would just text me, like, I'm just like, it would just mean something to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, she did. Totally unrandom. But that's like
You're a
you
bad
thinking
person,
that
Christian.
I'm
You're
a bad
manipulating
person.
her.
And like, oh, that means that I have to now think we're destined to be together because I set a condition
Yes, yeah,
and then
yeah.
it was met coincidentally. Like,
Yeah.
like, come on. But they give you a very clear line in the sand where he realizes.
He understands that.
Yeah,
it's
like
something different.
he knows that this isn't what she's choosing anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then continues.
So
and
tell
that's where it's a problem.
Tell me how she goes. Like, how does it? You can spoil it.
Oh,
I don't think
yeah.
I really.
It's
Even if I do watch
terrifying.
this, I want it to be spoiled for me. I'd watch the parents. I'd look at the
it's
parents'
such a
guide.
great movie, dude. It's incredible.
Is it the premise where like the wish, her obsession, is just causing her to slowly like
It's
lose her
it's
sanity?
So there's a few thoughts here. There's a few thoughts with this movie.
Because I've seen some images and I'm like, she looks tired.
No,
she looks rough.
she's terrifying. There's a few thoughts to what the progression is. What drives what ups the ante in terms of
Yeah.
Nikki and obsession.
Why is she?
I have
becoming
chosen
this
to
way?
think it's because Bear doesn't actually love her. He loves the idea of her, and
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of obsessed with her.
Mhm.
Before the wish is made. So when there's a realization that he doesn't like love her
Yeah.
the way she loves him,
Mhm.
that's what starts to drive all of that.
Gotcha.
I think they give you because he has kind of like a friendship with another girl who likes him. He's very chummy with her
Yeah.
in a way that I think he's just like kind of obsessed with. I don't think he's really in love with Nikki. I don't think he
Gotcha.
ever was.
Yeah.
I think he just liked the idea of her.
Mhm.
And they give you that because she's not even the person he thinks she is.
Yeah.
Like she kind of is having a relationship with this other character, and she's hiding it from him.
Yeah. Are they like friends at all?
Yeah.
Are they just like
No, they're
acquaintances more?
they're good friends.
Okay. Okay.
But she's hiding this relationship with his other friend. So clearly she doesn't like. There's things that he doesn't even know about her.
yeah.
So she's hiding parts of her from him. He thinks he's got anyway. It's all this distorted version. Anyway, that's what kind of drives it.
Yeah.
Is that there's a realization that he doesn't love me the way I love him, and how painful that is when
Yeah.
you love someone that hard. That's what starts kind of driving the ship there. And then the freakiest parts of the obsession by far are the moments where the real Nikki wakes up. Is like she's like feeling this emotion so strong, and there's just like lapses.
Oh.
So there was a moment right at the beginning. This is the worst jump scare. It just set the tone for the whole. In Obsession, the first jump scare sets the tone for the whole movie, and it's just this hardcore. Like she's pursuing him. He's like, okay, this is awesome. The girl I likes me back. They start
Yeah.
making out. And there's like the sound design with the music's coming in. It's all uplifting. They're making out. It seems like a fun, steamy romance movie. And then she like pulls back and she's like, "What the heck?" And then shoves him back and stumbles back, falls off the bed. He's like, "What's going on?" And she sits up and she goes, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
Oh,
I know.
no.
Yeah, just
No
like
way.
that.
I can't do
It's terrible. It chills, dude. Like, I'm sorry. I'm just tired.
No.
I'm just
No,
tired.
can't
I
do
thought I
it.
saw something.
No.
And he's like, he's like, "I'm sorry." And she's like, "No, it's okay. It's okay." And like that just set the tone, and it just made you feel like there's nothing relaxing
I can't.
around the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I can't.
around that.
Because you have no idea when
You have no
something
idea
like
when
that's
that's
gonna
gonna happen.
Oh.
And like it happens one other time, and it's pretty wild. Like because that happens at at a party,
Yeah.
and she's like, well, there's so much interesting stuff here, but
all I can think of is Sierra has the chance to do the funniest thing in the freaking planet.
dude, it got me so bad. But
Oh my god.
there's this interesting there's a moment. So the character Nikki in Obsession wants and aspires to be an author. She's writing this romance book,
Oh, okay.
and they set this
they're in high school or college.
sorry, they're graduating college. They're working at a music store together.
Cool.
But
Okay, I didn't know.
so in Obsession, the character Nikki is writing a love story book.
Mhm.
And what's so beautiful or so articulate about the storytelling here is Bear, the character, says, "So you're writing a romance?" And she's like, "No, I'm writing a love story." And he's like, "Aren't they the same thing?" Like, isn't that like so interesting?
Because it shows the difference between how he views love
Right.
and how she views
Yes,
love.
yes. It's like, no, a
Yeah.
love story does not have to be a romance.
Yeah, that's cool.
And like, I was like, dude, that's pretty crazy. But she's set up to be an author, and
interesting.
aspiring author. She's set up to be an aspiring author, and when after Bear makes the wish, she's at a party, and she starts reading from the book she's writing.
Yeah.
And she decides to read this like version. It's this. She's written this story, this love story between Hansel and Gretel, brother and sister.
Oh.
And it's like this brother-sister incestuous relationship that she's reading this monologue for. He's like, "I love you, my brother. Da 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 da. Like, I love you so much. I would do that." And it's just super graphic and disgusting, but it's tied up in this brother-sister incestuous love story, hinting at the fact that Nikki only ever views Bear like a brother. So when he says, "Love me," like, it's like this super disgusting, gross, because it's not this love, romantic love. It's almost like a sibling love.
Yeah.
That she almost feels for him,
but forced also
right.
the sexual nature of
because
like,
of his expectations of it.
Yes,
make it sexual,
and
right?
Yeah.
And like, it's like,
so it's the wish is taking the motivation of both characters and kind of like twisting it essentially.
For her, yeah, because she wants to appease him.
Yeah.
And I mean, that really set a tone. Ugh. And it was just,
that's wild.
It
So like, what's some of the other like imagery that's like weird and like freaky?
They do some stuff with Curry Baker can freaking, well, the Obsession team can freaking light a movie. There isn't a properly lit space in terms of like, when I watch a horror movie, I want hospital lighting. I want bright overhead,
fluorescent lights.
no corner, no darkness, you know? And so they have her a lot of times. You can't see her face. You can see her silhouetted, but you can never like see all of her face. And I think they're doing some imagery there, just with how that's not really her. But there's a scene where she's talking to Bear about how much that she's in love with him, and you can only see the wetness of her eyes glistening. I don't know how to describe it to you other than that. Just the glistening of the eyes is like is the only thing being lit, and it like super creepy and weird. There's some stuff, bro. I tell you right now. I'm gonna try and get through this, but he wakes up at one point, and she's like in the corner of the room, dude. And wait, no, but you can't see her because it's not lit. You can't see her really at all. And he's calling for her, and he's like, "Nikki, where are you?" She's like, "I couldn't sleep. I don't like my nightmares."
And you can't see her, but you can hear her voice.
You hear her voice.
Oh, my God.
And then, bro, she's like in the corner, and she's like, and just kind of steps into the light a little bit and starts like, you can never see her face. So he's like, "What are you doing?" And she starts like walking to him. Like
we're gonna like do it or something.
No, just like creeping to him in a weird, unnatural way. And then he's like, "Well, will you come back to bed?" She's like, "No." And then she goes back into the corner, and that's what I'm telling you, because they set that expectation, I think, from the previous scene of like, nothing felt safe with her ever. Like, it just nothing like, you just couldn't tell when she was going to take something the wrong way.
My heart's racing, and I haven't seen the movie.
Bro.
I can't
It was so good.
Did you see it alone?
No, I saw it with Josh Green.
Okay, nice.
I thought it was so good though. We both walked out and we're like, that's the scariest movie I've ever seen. And it was awesome. Like, it was just really good.
What would you give Obsession out of 10?
Oh, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
9 out of 10.
Easy. Yeah.
It was friggin' incredible.
So Obsession is the best horror movie you've ever seen? You think? Is there anything you would give?
Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus, I'm always going to take over Obsession, but Obsession is scary.
Yeah.
It's like people think Weapons is scarier. I think that's insane. I didn't think Weapons was like that scary at all.
Watching Weapons again, no. There's a couple moments where it's like, oh,
You
that's
rewatched
creepy.
it?
No. I'm
Oh.
saying like thinking if I were to watch it again. There's been a couple times where I've played around with the idea to
But
show
like,
Audrey.
you know how much?
It wouldn't be
I don't
that
know how to
scary.
explain this other than so much of Weapons feels safe. Does that
a lot
make
of it.
sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Like there's only like
There's a lot of
few
downtime for you to
moments
breathe.
where it's like right, but there's a lot of moments you just feel like you can breathe.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay. Obsession was never like that. Obsession the entire time was like, and in the moments like where he goes to work without her, they still manage to like hit you in the friggin' face.
Ugh. Yeah, Weapons has like it has creepy scenes. Obviously, like the fork to the face is just like disturbing. The scene that always gets me, or that I think about the most in Weapons, is when the lady walks out of the house at night and then she's in the back seat. That's probably like the scariest like jump scare to me because it reminds me of Haunting of Hill House. But the like premise, like once you kind of realize towards the like third act, once you realize like Aunt Gladys is kind of just like manipulating things, it's more just like disturbing in moments than it is actually like I'm genuinely terrified and scary. And the kids are never actually that scary.
No.
That's just kind of like I know that's like the marketing imagery of it, but yeah, it's not all that scary once you see.
It's more just wrapped
the
up in the
thing.
mystery of, you know,
Yeah,
like
and just
it's
the eeriness of it.
Yeah.
And obviously, like
the scariest part of Weapons is an entire class of children walked out of their house at the same time.
yes,
That's the same.
and
that's
it's the
scariest
premise
part
of that
Weapons.
is like creepy. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean? And then once you figure out the Aunt Gladys stuff, it becomes less. I mean, it's kind of the same idea of like once you see the monster, it's not that scary, but it's more so not the monster than it is just like the idea. Like once you realize, like, oh, it's just manipulation here. Of course they're gonna act crazy. So yeah, it sounds scarier than Weapons, as far as like imagery that would actually like boil my blood. Like, oh
Yeah, this had some, and then like just, I mean, it's just there's just a feeling of like, well, how much worse could it get? Like, how much? Like, I don't think it could get scarier. And they just the most subtle. Weapons hits a kind of a middle point after this like party they go to, where I think, and they do. There's the scene where she like moves backwards in a really weird way that's uncomfortable and all that stuff. And I just think, okay, that's the thick of it. Like clearly, I just don't even think how could this get scarier.
yeah.
And the most subtle, Bear gets up to go meet this other girl. He sneaks out of the room, and on his way out, you hear Bear. He's like, "I'm just getting water." She's like, "Kill me, Bear." And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Kill me. She's sleeping." And then it's like,
So it's the real Nikki.
it's the real one. And she's like, and he's like, "Whoa, shh, don't wake her up." And like, I mean, and then, please kill me. And then he's like, "Would it be so bad to be with me?" And that's what's like the most scummy, is being with me that bad. Like not even understanding that it's like she doesn't have autonomy. She like, you know what I mean? And he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have the balls to do it, and leaves her, and it goes crazy from there. Do you want me to tell you how it ends though?
Yeah.
So the wish, he kind of calls this number. They tell him the only way to cancel a wish is the wish lasts as long as you're alive.
Oh.
And he's like, "Well, I'll just make it work then." I'm just kidding, but that's kind of what it happens. But he buys another One Wish Willow, and he has a plan to make Nikki wish that to undo his wish, essentially. But like, it like I'm not even gonna describe it to you. It just like, it's like from here you're like, that's a good plan, to like, okay, no way. Like this just can't even happen. Like he's just given up. Like it's too much. She's being psycho. And so he goes into the bathroom and he takes a bunch of pills. Well, he tries to shoot himself and then he just takes a bunch of pills. And he's sitting there, is the genius direction of, he then goes to try and make himself throw up because he chickens out. And then sits up, walks outside, and starts just hardcore making out with her. And the camera like is on them making out, and then kind of like zooms down onto the table, and you see the one wish Willow snapped, and she wished for him to love her back as much as she did, because that was her whole thing. Was she's like, you don't love me like I love you, and then they start making out, and then he starts convulsing, dies.
She's free,
and then she frees up, and she looks around and starts screaming, and it cuts. And it ends right there.
Crazy ending. Dang, that's insane.
It's pretty wild.
That is pretty intense. That's a crazy way to end it. Oh, man. The One Wish Willow idea is, to me, genuinely like a genius idea. Like, you have infinite possibilities that you could do. I've seen him in interview. We might have talked about this a little bit on the last episode, but like him saying, like, I've got other ideas for a One Wish Willow. I'm like, Dad, give it to him, dude. Let him do it. Like, it's just cool. I may never see it, but I'm like, the idea is cool.
You should definitely watch it. I don't know how to tell you, like, it's just so clever. I don't. I gotta watch it. Don't go see it in the theater. Don't go see it in the theater.
At home.
It's scary in the theater. All right, real quick. Obsession came out when? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago, yeah. I think so.
Obsession?
Yeah.
Packed theater. Every seat.
Really?
Every seat. When my viewing of it Friday.
Dang.
I saw Star Wars opening night. Maybe a third of it.
Wow.
Crazy.
So I saw something today that... maybe it was Backrooms. Obsession has to be giving Mando and Grogu a run for its money in the box office.
It did. It beat it.
Like, dang, what does that say about Star Wars right now? Either Star Wars or The Project.
I don't like. Look,
horror.
Obsession is that good because there's plenty. It's not just like that. It's Curry Baker or it's a YouTuber. It's a culmination of all of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like Shelby Oaks didn't get this attention. Iron Lung kind of got that attention, but Iron Lung might have out-earned Star Wars actually.
I don't know. I know it made a lot of money, but when I say a lot of money, it still pales in comparison to what like Star Wars box offices were bringing.
Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty freaking good. I actually really liked it. Like, I was just kind of my sentiment.
Yeah.
Was like it just. It was scary.
So you saw Obsession before Backrooms?
No, I saw Backrooms before Obsession.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I saw Backrooms. Because I was gonna see Obsession with Josh Wednesday, then we recorded Wednesday, saw Backrooms opening right after work, and then Obsession Friday night.
Gotcha. Okay. Because that was in my brain. I was like, I wonder if seeing something like that would affect your view of something like Backrooms.
So it's fun. I walked in AMC's Friday night. Walked in AMC's popping, and I genuinely thought, oh wow, all these people are here for Star Wars, and they were all there for Obsession.
Wow.
They were
2
all
or
there
3
for
weeks
Obsession.
later. That's crazy. This movie keep on raking in the cash.
Yeah.
Curry Barker, success story. I love it. All right, you want to get into
Backrooms?
Backrooms. I saw Backrooms yesterday. Audrey and I both went and saw it. Okay, I did want to ask you. So, did you know the lore going into seeing Backrooms?
Yep.
You did a deep dive.
I watched a lore video and then gotten so intrigued with the lore that I binged the series.
Okay. I did
because it's not that bad. It's like probably 2 hours.
Yeah. I wanted to go in completely ignorant. Didn't want to know any of the lore. I understood the idea, and I've read the original like 4chan post, so like I knew about that, but I didn't watch Kane Parsons' series. I didn't do any of that because I wanted to be completely ignorant. So I'm curious to see if it affected like our experience overall.
Well, yeah, if you didn't like it, you're wrong. You know, like Kane Part, like, well, I guess I could talk about this before we do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people know this, but the Backrooms movie is canon to the YouTube series. So I think a lot of people for Backrooms expected like a brand new kind of fresh start for this, like that's not off of like the source material. Like,
no.
here's the short film that inspires this film.
It's
no,
Kane Parsons' vision.
This is like the next evolution, next release, next step in the IP that is Backrooms, is this feature movie release that is all connected in canon to every single thing we have seen from the YouTube series.
Yeah.
So when I learned that, I said, Okay, so I don't want to expect to have anything explained to me because that's not the expectation here.
No.
The expectation is we're gonna treat this like a true next installment, like you're following the franchise.
You just
and
got
like
the budget to make something
right.
truly.
So that's what this
feature
is. So
film.
I thought, okay, then I should learn about the lore, and the lore is expansive, it's intense, it's crazy, and this movie, before we get into it, pays a lot of it off. There's a lot of things that pay off in this movie that they set up in earlier stuff from the YouTube series that gets answered in this. It's not stuff that gets set up and knocked down just by this installment. It's stuff that gets set up in the last found footage or the second video ever released. It's that stuff that makes it more, that became what was so fun about it. And that's where it's like, but if you watch the YouTube series, you will be totally fine with not having answers. That's kind of my opinion. And I know I've met two people. There's two other creators who I reached out to who were like, yeah, we're big Backrooms fans. We didn't like the movie. And they were just like, I wanted more answers. But like, look,
that's not the point.
I agree. And here's
so I'm looking at the lore after seeing the movie. I came out of the movie being like, man, I have no idea like what's going on here. But now understanding the lore, I completely understand and love the idea. I love the vagueness of it.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely not the point, is to explain all of why things do what they do in the backroom. So
right.
Like,
but
I
and
don't,
it's
I don't
like,
need
it's not a like, we're going to do a fresh, this movie, Backrooms is not a jumping in point for the IP. Like in the slightest. Like, as in like, hey, if you jump in here, you might be intrigued. Kind of like what they wanted Mandalorian and Grogu to be for Star Wars. To me, it serves its best as the next step. It's the next Backrooms thing you're getting. Being someone who's followed it all the way through, you can jump in,
so
and you can build. And seems like there's a few people who've genuinely built intrigue from it. But is that like is a movie experience better if it pushes you to then go educate yourself on everything you missed, or if you know everything going in and can just appreciate it there in the moment?
So it's weird because my experience not knowing any of the lore, like I was more intrigued because things were vague. I was getting images. I was wondering what was going on. So when it doesn't pay off at the end of the movie, I was then like, oh, this is an intriguing enough idea that I do want to go research it. And when I did research it, watch some of the YouTube series and like listen to interviews and stuff like that, I did find it even more interesting. Like I am genuinely going to go see Backrooms again.
After you.
Yes.
So that's like.
All I would say is if this is your first entry and you do think it's intriguing enough, I think you still can have a good experience.
Well, that goes without saying. You could jump in on any movie franchise, find the middle one interesting, and then go catch up.
Now, so without going into spoilers though, the opening scene of the movie, if I had known everything beforehand, I would have been like, oh, that's so sick, probably. But when I went into it, I was like, what is this? Like, I don't really get it. It was cool, don't get me wrong. But I do think if I understood the lore, I would like appreciate that more. There's a couple other things that I probably would have appreciated a little bit more. And so, for example, so we ran into a friend of mine, or ours, I guess, and Elijah Shinnick. Say the name, it's fine. Him and Gwen were seeing it, and we were like, hey, like, what's up? Like, what are you going to see? And they're like, Backrooms. I was like, let's go. He loved the series. And after the fact, he was like, oh, I've got to think about this because there's some things that he took like he made some creative choices that are different than how it's set up in the YouTube series. And he was like, I think I really like it. I just kind of want to like chew on it a little bit more. So I don't want to, I guess, spoilers, but things maybe with the entity was a difference that we haven't seen up to this point. And so that's what I'm kind of equating him to saying that. And I was like, oh, that is interesting. Because if you had watched all the lore and you see the creative choices differently, you could kind of see, oh, I like that, I don't like that. So you would have that experience. I didn't. I thought this was just the definitive.
You're not even trying to have this conversation. I disagree with that.
What part? So tell me what you mean.
The whole like it's a different creative choice. It's not. You just haven't seen it. We haven't seen this before. All of this is new. So it's, you can't say, well, this is different because we've never seen it before.
We have, though.
No. We haven't seen, nowhere in the history of Backrooms has there been someone who can enter in and out and live next to an open portal
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about just the entity. We have
Well-
seen the entity before.
A entity, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm saying that we've never seen somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's
comes
lived
and
next
goes.
to an open portal the
Mhm.
entire time.
Yeah.
That's my point.
I got you. Yeah.
Everybody else has
So-
accidentally clipped in
So this is new territory.
for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Because the original found footage is, yeah, it's the filmmaker and he no clips into it and then he's there. So, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So there's a specific specificity of why that is based off of him.
Gotcha. All right.
I think.
Well, let's get into it. Let's score it.
I'm trying to think because I want to make sure I said. Anyway, yeah. Ready?
What can we score it out of?
I don't know. Scoring it out of,
Times I peed my pants.
I don't know. Would you give Backrooms out of 10?
Out of 10, solid 8 out of 10.
I would give it a 9.
I'm like, if I want to be specific, it's probably like an 8.5. Like it feels like it should be a little bit higher than an 8. Struggling to give it a 9, but it could on a second
I think
rewatch.
it's so good.
It's fantastic.
I think it's really good.
I was genuinely terrified.
Such
both
a
times.
great next step.
Oh, so that's such a that's such a unique perspective because I obviously I didn't go into it that way. So,
I mean, that's what intrigued me to learn about the lore though. Was this is canon to the so this is like
so I didn't really know that.
This is like what he would release on YouTube just with a movie budget.
So I didn't quite.
So that's how I
realize that.
viewed the whole thing and thought how special. Like
I
how
thought
special
this
to get
was-
character development, to get these big actors in these roles.
Yeah.
Like how cool. Like that's just kind of was my sentiment about it.
I thought it was just a solo feature film inspired by the YouTube series.
Nope.
I didn't know that it was necessarily like the next canonical like addition to it, which now having gone back and watched all of them, that is really cool. I like that. And I would want to see more of that. But yeah, I
just think that's what people are missing when they're like,
yeah.
as you went in expecting it to be a feature film, kind of like it would be like if the Minecraft movie was more like a sequel to the game
Yeah.
than it was.
But I don't think here's what I'll say. Like I don't think having gone in very blind to the like intricacies of the lore affected my experience as
there's
far as like
plenty of-
loving
There's
it.
plenty of people who
I
felt like they
love
liked
this.
it. I just think
like
your expectations will be set correctly if you watch the YouTube series
I think
and know it's canon. Like that.
I'm
to me
genuinely
is
going to go see it again, I think, and I will not be surprised if this bumps up to a 9 on a second rewatch because I'll understand the more intricacies. I'll understand the intricacies a little bit more, knowing the lore. I'll probably appreciate it more. But the experience of it and learning as I go in this movie was really, really incredible. And I do genuinely think it was pretty terrifying at times. Not the scariest. I was trying to equate this because Caleb texted me. He was like, "Did you see Backrooms?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fantastic." He was like, "How would you rate it on like scary scale?" I told him it was like maybe like a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
I'd give it like a 6.
Like there are moments that are like, for me, that were like maybe like an 8 or 9 out of 10, like really genuinely, you don't know what's going on and you're terrified. But probably closer to like a 7 out of 10. Like it wasn't that scary. And once you saw the entity and like its manifestation, I wasn't scared anymore at all. I was kind of locked in. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. But it genuinely was a little bit of a case of once you see the monster, it's not scary. But that's not to its detriment. But I just didn't know what I was going to expect. All the buildup of like what the entity is hunting them was the best parts of that. Dude, some of the scenes though, where it's peeking around corners and you just see silhouettes, like that genuinely sent shivers down my spine. Like
when did it do that?
So, well, there's the one moment where I guess it's Clark.
Yeah, that's the one I
That
can
freaked
think of.
me out. Isn't there one where they're like looking down a hallway and maybe it's like a shadow?
Yeah.
It's not like the entity, but like you see like the shadow and you hear the footsteps and then Clark like backs up when he's looking down the hole. He's looking down I was like, all of that stuff is just so atmospherically eerie and creepy.
I mean, like the movie is the movie has the scariest stuff in Backrooms. In my opinion.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it's all
Watching the YouTube series, I genuinely
like
wasn't that scared.
the scene where he sends his employee down on the rope and he's looking in all the found footage stuff. The found footage section is the scariest thing in Backrooms.
Absolutely. That is the part that
like
I would say is
the
like
whole
a 9 out
scene
of
where
10
he gets
scary.
ripped down the tunnel, they all fall down, and then you see the kid get ripped, yanked up.
Ugh.
That was freaky.
The part of the scariest, which is part of the found footage part, was when Clark he's like running through and he comes up on the Christmas tree, and then you see the lamp turn on and the lady come at him. All of that was like had me like ooh, like because it's just freaky. You don't know what it is, and it's found footage. It's blurry. All of that stuff was creepy. I guess this is spoilers, so spoiler alert. When the entity picks up the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, Audrey and I both were like, that's so good. I knew it was coming. Like, I knew something was happening. Like, they're setting that shot up, but I was like, gosh, that is just so genius because it shows you that the entity is taller. Like, it raises. I'm like, that just sets such a great atmospheric, like, terror because you haven't seen the entity yet, but we're experiencing the entity. Like,
So yeah, that's
so
what
great.
I'm assuming Elijah's saying is with the entity is what's different.
Probably just in how it looks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've seen somebody just exist
He really
next to
liked
an
it.
open portal of the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
rooms. And I think clearly, I mean, this is the first time, like, I think we've seen somebody getting clipped into the back rooms or coming into the back rooms is affecting the space.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time we've really seen
so
that. So
that is really unique, and Audrey talked a lot about that. So people entering the back rooms is physically affecting the space. So
this is the first time we're seeing. So
we're seeing that happen.
yeah,
and at first it's like obviously because it's next to a furniture store and you're seeing all the furniture, you kind of assume that. But when it really locked in for me was obviously seeing the therapist, right? Her stuff being in there and the books and stuff like that. I was like, oh, so that had such a new layer and it's vague enough that it keeps you eating on it like days after, which I love, of people who are no clipping into the back rooms are bringing something into it. And then obviously with the entity being Clark and stuff like that. But that is a really interesting concept. And that's where I'm like, this would be really cool. Like I would love to see more movies and see more people bringing in their kind of stuff into it. Like that's a cool idea.
I have a theory about I have a theory about Backrooms and how it was laid out. And because in the YouTube series it kind of established the Backrooms is beyond time.
Yeah.
Like time doesn't really exist there. They kind of show you that, I think a little bit. No, actually they don't really at all. Yeah, so time time isn't a thing.
Time is relative.
Time is relative in the Backrooms. And this is a theory I had, and it was because of what was in the Backrooms that we saw. To me, what it seemed like to me was the Backrooms that we explored in this movie was a culmination of Clark's baggage and the therapist's baggage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the furniture store, but the therapist's childhood home.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like beyond time, they both were there, both impacted the space, and that's why you had chairs and furniture stacked in a pile. Like that's not like a normal. That's not in the Backroom series. That's like specific to this movie. It's not something you see all the time. And I'm like, well, there's a reason for that. And the reasoning, and they give you that imagery of like all the stuff stacked in her home,
Up
and
against
like
the door.
and how. So it's cool
Yeah.
to think like she hasn't even been in the space yet,
Mm-hmm.
but she will be. And this is how it's generated:
Mm-hmm.
is the furniture store, but like with the stacking and like the everything, like the childhood home.
The only thing though against that is that stuff is brought in when someone enters. So it being stacked up when Clark is first going
It's
in
beyond
wouldn't
time.
make sure
It's beyond time.
Oh, so it already knows. Yeah, because
It's already generated there because it's outside of time.
that makes sense. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Because in my brain I'm thinking it only happens when you go in, but if inside the back rooms, so we're both right. It does happen when you enter.
No,
into,
it's always like that.
no. Let me explain. It does happen when you enter in, but because that is outside of time, it's always been there and always will be.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
It
we
knows
visually see
that
it.
they will be there. Yeah.
Yes, but we visually see it, and that person visually sees it when they go in for the first time.
Yeah.
So we're both right.
The
there.
whole Backrooms is like like it's the first time we've seen a Backrooms be affected by a location like that.
Yeah. Mhm.
And like
Or by a person and like their psyche. Essentially.
Yeah, like Clark, but also like the room in the beginning where the hazmat guy like that's the same sky that we see throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Is what's in that room.
Well, yeah, because it's all mappable.
Yeah.
I mean, you revisit obviously the same places. It just continues to expansively go.
But that was like
so-
an example of how that's the same sky and they've never entered in there. But it's the same location and sky that we see.
I see what you're saying.
So they haven't been in there yet.
Yeah. So it is. I get you. Outside of the time and things like that. Yeah. Dude, that opening scene was awesome though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it sets up the tone and just builds it so perfectly.
Also, like, this was like one of my favorite pools that I have. I haven't seen anyone talk about this yet, but when the Dr. Phil,
Yeah. Dr. Phil.
when the is it NSYNC? No, not NSYNC. What's it called?
Async.
Huh?
Async.
Async. The Async doctor.
Yeah.
When he's at home and he sees
Clark
on the
screen.
TV,
Yeah.
he doesn't recognize Clark there. He recognizes the pirate.
No, he would recognize
No,
Clark.
he doesn't. I promise you, it's
He
not.
saw Clark on
No,
the security
listen,
footage before that.
let
though.
me cook. Let me cook with my take, please.
Okay.
That he absolutely recognizes the entity. They hide the entity from you in the beginning of the movie. Why? Because it is the pirate. It's always been the pirate. Clark is impacting that space the entire time. That entity is the pirate the entire movie in the beginning with the async guys. He doesn't recognize Clark. He recognizes him dressed in the costume as the pirate. And he says, oh my gosh.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If it's outside of time, then he has been seeing Clark as the pirate
Yeah.
entity
They have
before
seen
he
the
ever
pirate.
knew Clark was
Yep.
on the security
Right.
footage.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's confirmed. And that pirate has been in there before Clark ever enters in there. That's confirmed. That's a thing.
That's wild.
So he doesn't recognize Clark. And you know how I thought about that? Is because I saw Clark on the security footage and then
Yeah.
I saw him seeing the TV and I said,
Oh,
that's weak. You would not draw that conclusion. That's stupid.
why do you think? I think that would be an eeasy conclusion.
No, because it's not the
It's the same guy.
screen isn't it, but it's not the shot is far. It's not clear, bro.
I when I saw
doesn't-
the footage, I was like, oh, he can make that connection. I mean, he's looking at that screen.
No, I thought that was weak. I was like, what are the odds? Why would you draw that connection? That's kind of weird. Like, that's a weird connection to draw that you would immediately. And the only thing to me that makes sense and why the significance of him wearing wearing that pirate costume and filming like a video in it is so he recognizes that the pirate entity.
Yeah.
But they hide I'm just telling you, they hide the pirate from you for a reason. Because we
Yeah.
don't see it.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing. It's the same creature.
Is there anything though that alludes, and I might be missing a piece, is there anything that alludes to Dr. Phil or Phil from Async having seen the entity before?
Yeah.
Because he talks about, oh, they have it. They have the entity at the end.
Yeah, but also he would have seen the entity when it went into that room. Because he has that he's watching that screen with Clark walking on it.
Great point. When Clark is looking through that hole,
Yep.
and
He would see it there.
the cutout gets thrown, he would have seen the entity.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So he would know. So he put two and two together when he saw Clark on the screen. That makes sense. That's interesting for his character, kind of in a deep,
But that's like
in a
I
very
think,
like niche way, like him understanding the entity more. Because he talks in the end, right? I just want to know a little bit more. That would be a huge realization for him, understanding what the entity is and how it like manifests. That's cool. Dang, that's interesting. Good pull. I did not put it. I just took it at face value as
I just don't think it
security
is.
footage. But yeah, that would make sense though.
I think he recognizes the entity.
Yeah. Oh, that is really interesting. Because when we see the entity all throughout it, it's tall. Like everything it alludes to feels very tall. So it's always been.
Well,
the
I'm just
pirate.
saying that it's the like, if you go look at that shot,
Mhm.
there is the way the hat is, the opening shot with the async guy opening the door. It's the same, like it's the same proportions, dimensions, the way
Yeah.
it peers out of the door.
Mhm.
It's so familiar to how the employee sees it,
Yeah.
and then how they show it to you in the house with
Yeah.
Clark and the therapist. So it's also akin, or I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's the same thing. And I just thought, you see this random guy on security camera and we don't see how close of a shot that gets. And I personally don't think with what you see, I don't know how well
I thought you
would,
could make out.
I
True
don't think
Intelligence
so.
pretty well.
I don't think that would be your first thought.
Here's what I will say. I don't I don't know if like that was the movie's intention or not. I don't know if the movie's intention was for you to say, hey, he saw this guy on security footage, saw the commercial, and put two and two together. That might be what they were alluding to. What you're saying is more interesting.
I think that, well, we know, I've just heard in interviews, the pirate entity is there before Clark ever goes.
Okay, well then...
So then he would recognize the pirate before he recognizes Clark.
Then I would think, I mean, Kane's going to do that then. I mean, that's what he's going to be shooting for. So, and that is more interesting than just putting two and two together with security footage. It would make sense. I think it makes sense if he does.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I just thought it was weak sauce.
I was just like,
but it's more interesting if he recognizes the pirate.
Absolutely. Heck yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, I really liked it. Okay, when he pulls the like assistant or the employee like into it, I'll be honest, I was kind of peering through my hands. Did it look similar? Because you kind of just see the bottom of it.
Yeah,
and it's just very black.
Yeah,
and I looked at Audrey and I was like, it almost looked like a tail or like an arm.
It's the wideness of when it swoops the head, like it's the hat, the edge of the hat. You see that. You see the glare of it.
His hands are kind of long and gangly too.
Yeah.
So I guess it probably was the arms. Oh my gosh, when he gets into that and it's just clothes and he sees his shirt, dude, I was terrified. I was like, this guy's pulling people down here. He's eating them. Like, oh.
Whose shirt?
So when the employee goes down into there and he's looking across all of the clothes, he sees the shirt that he wore, or it is the shirt that he was wearing in the store the day before.
Whoa. I did not catch
Audrey
that.
pointed that out.
I did not catch that. That's
because
crazy.
Here's something cool. Shout out Audrey. The shirt is talking about, it's something that happened in the 90s where I think the Dutch were going into South Africa, and it was kind of like it was like a social and like political movement, and it said no something. I can't remember what it was, but it was a big thing going on in the 90s. And so the employee was wearing a shirt kind of based on that. So when she pans over it, Audrey looked at me and was like, oh, that's the shirt he was wearing yesterday in the store. But she picked it up because she's Dutch. And I was like, that's kind of a crazy, crazy pull. So he's also bringing in his, stuff as well, I guess. And it would make sense if it's timeless. If time is relative to it, so. It's no... What is it called? No, starts with like a P, I think, or something like that.
I'm pretty sure they were wearing, one of them, Kat or Bobby, was wearing flip-flops and PF Flyers, too. I'm pretty sure that's where those come from, too.
Yeah.
I just can't find a photo of him. But I know he's wearing flip-flops in something.
Yeah. Gosh, I wish I could remember what the shirt was. What was on the shirt.
But just the whole, I mean, I'm like, the people hating on it, man. It's just like, I mean, you just won't, I mean, I don't see.
What is there to hate?
I have no idea how you see the YouTube series and then see this movie and you don't like it. I just doesn't even
It also
compute with
doesn't
me.
make sense because it's also Kane Parsons with a budget. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's-
just expounding on what he already built. Like
the level.
what are you talking about?
The level of respect I'm about to put on Kane Parsons' name right now. Homeboy could have made a more palatable, easygoing, more inviting movie that would have probably performed better,
dumbed it down for everyone.
been reviewed better, and like been more inviting and done better, performed better box office wise. Probably got reviewed better critically or better audience score that more people would have liked.
Yeah.
That would have brought more people to his IP. That would have made more people probably inclined to like it if he tied it all up nice with a bow. Nah, he said, I'm gonna stick to what I've been doing.
Yeah.
The respect, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, go you, bro.
Absolutely.
I would give this movie, like, I probably gave this movie, I would 10 out of 10 this movie just because of that.
Yeah.
Like, just because he was like, no, I'm doing exactly what I've always done, and I'm uncompromisingly going to do what I want to do.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to try and appease an audience or like, all you people are like, I didn't get it. What? There's no answers. He doesn't give a
He doesn't care.
rip. You're
That's
not
what
saying
made
a
the
thing
YouTube
to him.
series successful.
Yeah, you're
is
not
the vagueness
You
of
don't.
that.
That
And the
doesn't
lo-
mean
like,
anything. He
doesn't-
knew you were going to do that.
Absolutely.
And even in interviews, he's like, well, we'll have to see how this movie does, and I would love to get he knows what he's making. Like he
Yeah.
knows that no one might not. I think he totally knows that
Absolutely.
people aren't going to really love this.
Yeah. It's just, he knew. Like, Backrooms is genuinely one of the coolest ideas I've heard about or like seen on screen ever. I will say ever. It's specifically like in the horror genre, I guess, because that's kind of what it has become. And for him to, stick to his guns and understand I've got this genius concept that I have fleshed out my YouTube series. Let's just do more of that. Yeah, absolutely. It's not meant to be. I don't want to be spoon-fed. Like, we don't need to be spoon-fed. What it is, the vagueness is the beauty of it.
It would have made him more money to make it more inviting and palatable. It would have, like, there's so many advantages to doing like rebooting all of this as a film.
Yeah.
So many.
Absolutely.
And he refused to do it.
Like, would it
Go you, dude.
Would it feel good for everybody if there was like this aha reveal moment at the end of what everything is? Yeah, maybe it would have been like, oh, that's cool. But it's so much better, and it leaves you thinking beyond the movie for so much longer. Like, I think this will just stick with people who do like it. And the people who do like it seem to really, really enjoy kind of what it did. It will stay longer in the kind of conversation than if he were to just spoon feed us a easy ending that everybody can be like, ah, cool, and then move on from it. But he has left the life in it because it's so vague and because you can leave a lot of it into interpretation and theorize and like what makes it cool. So it's fantastic.
I just think outside of the concept, there's just some. I try not to be the guy who's like, I don't understand any of the criticism, but like the genius in just the character writing of Clark, that his character is the like personification of the Backrooms, right? But Backrooms is like this distorted remembrance of something, right? This distorted reality of this attempt to build something that's familiar but not accurate.
Yes.
And like that's who Clark is. Like go back to the beginning of the movie. How does he view himself how he actually is and in reality? No, not at all. He thinks he's a victim.
Absolutely.
But he's not. He's abusive. He's the problem. He's an alcoholic. But he doesn't view himself as the villain of the story. His distorted version that he's built in his mind of himself is like what the Backrooms does.
Absolutely.
So that's why he feels at home there, right? Like I like it here because that's who he is.
Yes.
It's a misremembrance of reality and a distortion of reality that isn't correct.
Yeah.
And that's how he lives his life.
Yeah.
That's how he thinks of that's how he looks at the world.
And that's why the doctor says that.
Yeah.
Right?
And so,
you know what's wrong with you? You're always the victim. You can't ever do anything wrong.
Right.
So in here, it just reaffirms his delusion.
And because it's
essentially.
never ending and completely infinite, nothing's done. Like it's nothing is wrong. Like
Nothing's
it's
wrong,
like, you know, and it's just so clever. I
Dude,
just really think
Chiwetel
it's
Ejiofor.
so, huh?
Chiwetel Ejiofor crushes it. He is fantastic. Would you say? I think he does better than Aunt Gladys, and Aunt Gladys won an Oscar. I think obviously difference
okay.
between supporting and main.
I don't know. I would go there,
Dude. What would Aunt Gladys do in that movie better than anything that he portrays in that kitchen scene?
See, I don't know. I guess I just have to think about it.
I was
more.
just
It's just not a feeling. I'm just telling you, my feelings about it aren't. aren't that.
I thought
I thought he was
multiple
acting
times.
good,
I thought he was doing great.
but I guess I'm having a here's what you say that, and all I can think is if Indy from Obsession doesn't win supporting actress or lead actress for whatever for Obsession, that's such a blind rob.
That's my sentiment. It's like, because I can't remember her name, but gosh, I wish I could. What's her name? The actress. I want to say the actress, but anyway, because the character of Aunt Gladys essentially won the Oscar in Weapons, I just more so now feel like I see so many performances that are better than that I'm like, it feels weird that she won that. Like, I almost feel like she shouldn't have won that, because I'm like, maybe you're right. Maybe she should win for Obsession. Like, maybe Chiwetel Ejiofor should win for this, because better.
No.
So it feels more like a weird.
Here's why I'm.
It feels like a weird.
Indy's
win.
way better than him in Obsession than he is in this.
Like, I guess it's hard because it's different, right? She's playing the main.
I don't want to get too wrapped up.
Yeah, I don't either. I
just don't have that feeling initially, but I agree. The performance is really, really good.
I guess my sentiment more in bringing that up is because Weapons won, it makes me view a lot of other performances like very differently. Like, I'm going, why did that win? Why did Aunt Gladys win? Like, it just kind of more perplexes me, because I see other performances that I'm like, man, these are so much better than that. And I'm thinking about it in this movie just because of like the horror genre, but yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I did want to point out, I mean, all the found footage stuff in the Backrooms is just like 10 out of 10. It's so incredible. Like, using the 90s setting, the old cameras. I mean, it's eerier, like, it's more eerie, it's creepy. It's just so perfect for like what this is. And obviously he plays around with that in the YouTube series, which is cool. Like, I'm glad he didn't make this modern and use modern cameras to do it. I'm glad that he kept that DNA from the YouTube series and the found footage stuff, because it's probably the best. I haven't seen like Blair Witch Project and like other found footage horror stuff, but it's the best thing I've ever seen when it comes to found footage. I mean, all of it is so perfect. He just does a good job, man. Gosh, guy's 20. That's such a feat. It's so cool.
This movie technically takes place in timeline before the first.
Because this is in 91, right?
97 is the date of the first one.
That's
That's another thing where I think like you can't, like, no shame to Eli, but you just can't say, oh, he made a different creative decision, because you don't know the scope.
Well, I think he just meant what he liked it. He wasn't saying. Like,
I know what
he was like. I'm just trying to wrap my head around like the.
But I know, but you just can't think like, oh, they decided to do something different with the entity. You don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
Yeah.
You have no idea what that means,
because it's an addition, not a adaptation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else.
Like what the human people, the misremembered people.
Yeah,
those are the people we've seen or things we've seen in the series, but haven't didn't have answers on what they were.
Yeah. That is an interesting. So like, obviously, there's not like a lot of context there, but it's like, obviously, your brain does go to like, is it a parallel dimension? Is it just like some kind of weird manifestation of someone's psyche? Like,
no, it's a different dimension. Did you not watch the YouTube series?
I watched a couple of them. I didn't watch like the full thing.
Oh, like, yeah, they like open a portal door to it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that part. So it's definitely, just another dimension. Because async can open async is the one that opens that, right? Yeah. That makes
this is the first time we're seeing just like an open door, right?
Just
where somebody's
existing.
found.
Yeah. And can come in and out of, Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. The theater was packed out, I'll say that. My Backrooms theater was full. And people seem to like it. It's hard to tell with like a horror movie, because you just hear the gasps and the but yeah, it was fantastic. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, this is gonna be my current ranking top, at least like top 3.
Wow.
Because I mean, I only have like 3 or 4 movies, I guess, at an 8 right now.
Project Hail Mary.
The drama. And
I get yeah.
In the Gray. I think
I got Project Hail Mary, and I have Obsession. I think at 2. No, I have Send Help at 2. I think I have In the Gray at 3.
Dang. In the Gray for me would be like a 3 or 4 probably.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
But yeah, just so many good parallels there. What do you think of the ending? Like, there's a lot. Oh, so like, let's talk about this. Why do you think the pirate entity attacks Clark when it does in the movie?
So I've been racking my brain.
I have too. I think I have some sort of answer that I could make peace with. Now, I'll say this. For the people who are like, I don't have answers, I'm cool with it because he's going to continue to develop the lore in future projects.
Yeah.
If we finish all of Backrooms and you're like, Backrooms is done, and I still don't know that,
I'm fine.
Then I would probably not love this movie as much because there's a lot of things I just assume I'm going to get context on. Like, what really happened there?
I just don't always need answers. Like, I know you would agree with me, but like, I genuinely love when a project is conceptually vague that you can chew on it for
right.
time.
But this is like, different. That's different. Like,
yeah, I'm just
conceptually
saying, like,
vague and like. So how come when he decides that he wants to remain the same, that's what triggers him to be attacked? That's what I'm getting at. And that's not like vague. That's not like, oh, it's vague. Vagueness implies, oh, there could be a few different answers there.
Yeah.
I have one answer. One potential thought about that with the ending. And that is that it's imagery of how he wants to change. He likes the idea of being a better person, improving on himself, but he never takes the actions to do it, i.e., being an architect. Like, I like the idea of being an architect. I sketch in my free time, but I'm not going to take any of the necessary steps to become and do it. I'm going to put limitations on myself. So from what I see is like when he kind of abandons okay, I'm going to try to improve and just accepts, all right, I'm not going to change at all. I don't have to. That's when the worst part of himself consumes him. And that's what I think like the entity is. Like, I just think it just consumed him at that point. That's like what the imagery of that is. But that's the only thing I can really think of that would make sense.
Because, okay, I think I'm understanding. Because when he reaches that point, he is the worst version of himself.
Yeah.
So then the worst version of himself being manifested through the entity.
It's like, it's tied up in like, I've accepted reality.
Yeah.
And nothing about the Backrooms is reality.
So then is the entity playing on the idea of like, I can be neutral or friendly to someone in the Backrooms? Man, I gotta chew on that. Because what I've been racking my brain about is, why is the entity chummy with Clark up to that point?
Because I think it's him. It's his distorted version of himself.
That would, I guess that would make sense because of how he views everything else as well.
So he continues to have. So here it is. So he continues to have a distorted version of himself. I'm a victim. I'm these things. Nothing's my fault. Throughout the entire time he's in the back room still with the entity, but it's the moment where he says, "You know what? I know I'm wrong, and I know what reality is now, and I'm accepting reality." That's conflicting with the Backrooms, which is mimicking reality but not exact. But that's the moment he sees himself for who he is. So he is now maybe not living in a fictitious world anymore.
Yeah,
he's living in reality, which is I suck.
Yeah,
and that's when it attacks him.
Yeah,
but everything up until that point, he's not in reality.
Yeah,
that would be my thought. That's my proposed theory.
I can't think of like another.
I just think
reason per se, because in my brain I'm like, well, maybe, maybe like I'm thinking like maybe the therapist has something to do with that. But go ahead.
Well, it's just I for the sake of a clip.
Yeah.
How much? I mean, I'm trying to think about what I've said, like if it gets across. But I think the reason the pirate doesn't attack him is the reason the pirate entity doesn't attack Clark immediately is because he is exuding what the Backrooms is because he has a distorted version. He has a distorted view of himself that isn't reality. He has a revisionist history view of himself that is like, I'm a victim. Nothing's my fault. My wife lives in my house that I pay for.
Yeah.
By the way, they do set up he's a sucky person when he goes and stalks his wife. Anyway, going there from there. That's why the entity is fine with him because that's what the Backrooms is. It's a misremembrance of reality. It's not true. It's misremembering, distortion. That's everything that Clark. That's how he views himself. That's who he is as a person.
One-eyed maid. And
right. And so then, going back to how he's an architect, I want to be an architect, but I don't physically do anything to become an architect. But it's not my fault. Not reality. When he accepts that he doesn't want to change, that's him accepting reality, and that's him embracing what is real, which is I suck. I don't want to be this person that I aspire to be. I've accepted reality, a harsh reality, and that's when the Backrooms closes in on him. That's when the entity closes in on him and takes him out, is when he's accepted his reality.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And that's like, you could tie that into every other person that's been attacked by an entity at that point. Clark's the first person we're seeing someone like Clark in the Backrooms. Like,
true. Yeah. Not
that would just be my way. I'm not saying that's it. I'm just saying that's the only thing I can think of that would make some sort of sense.
Yeah.
Like that that's the only thread I can kind of pull on to be like, here's a possible answer of what if you embrace the fictitious revisionist random generation that is the Backrooms, you can exist there. But as soon as you are pursuing reality or pursuing something real, wanting to get out, that's when it zooms in on you because you're not what that space is. It's like clearly you're just something different.
Well, and Clark clearly accepts that it's him too, because the moment where I thought this was so cool because it pays off when the therapist sees like the drawings and like the paintings on the wall, and he's like, "Don't be scared, it's me," and then he chokes her out. And that moment, I was like, "Oh, he's talking about like, I'm the one who's going to choke you out." And then when you see the pirate come through, you have that realization of like, "Oh no, he meant the entity is actually him," which is such a cool moment because for me that was like, that's cool. So if he accepted that the entity was him when he experienced it for the first time and saw that it was him, then the entity wouldn't kill him, and there is that level of acceptance of like, "Oh, this reality, I can accept that." So to your point. Like, once he realizes truly and kind of becomes the worst version
of himself that he's made in his brain,
then the
isn't
entity
real,
being kind of manifestation of him. If he gets to that point where he's the worst version of himself, then the entity would then consume him as the worst version. So I mean, I like that theory. I think that really works. I can't think of another reason. That is kind of confirmed because obviously the therapist says like you are always the victim and kind of like heats Clark up to that point. So and I don't think anything that the therapist does or says would like necessarily like take off the entity to cause him to do that. So I can't.
I think like also
think a little more.
And then the because that's the only person who's like understanding reality at that point.
Yeah. And kind of she is the driving force to bring Clark to realizing in that moment, because up to this point, she's been very like candor with him. She's the therapist, right? She's not going to just call him out like that. She's going to carefully walk him through that. But she's in this awful situation. She's like, "No, you know why, Clark? You're the victim. You always play the victim." So it kind of forces him.
She's the last remembrance of like,
exactly.
This isn't real.
And she's the revelation to Clark in that moment because somebody finally just tells him, "You always play the freaking victim." And so it just kind of, culminates in the entity eating him, which was really freaky. Audrey was like, "Oh, I don't like that."
What do you think of the end of the ending shot with the therapist?
I'm trying to remember the ending shot.
Where she's like in the Backrooms, the Backrooms remembered version of her. I think all that.
Because they're going through like you see the books and then you see her house and you see all of that. I think that's interesting because it just implies that like there was something intriguing about it to her for her to go back in.
Well, I don't think she did go back in. That wasn't her standing there.
It's distorted.
Yeah,
you're right. It's distorted. Yeah,
I think that just means that that's how the the Backrooms is showing how it remembers her, which is still stuck in a room.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Still
stuck
stuck
in, she's
in
still
the
stuck-
room.
Yeah.
That they set up imagery wise with the house with her
Yeah.
mom and all of that. She's still in that place.
Yeah.
Which they set that up a lot, obviously, with the flashbacks and kind of like oh my gosh, we haven't even talked about the shot where it's in her house and then it starts to kind of go down and the version continues to slowly change over time to get kind of closer to the Backrooms. That's visually such a cool way to like further the point of the Backrooms is a remembrance, kind of like revisionist, kind of like to your point of like what somebody remembers something being, and it becomes slowly distorted into something else. And it's like more simplified as it goes along. Like, and that's cool for her as a therapist, right? Like a lot of people kind of like, they push that down, right? They don't remember the worst version. You try to kind of remember something in the best way that you can. I think that's kind of a cool visual way to like further that point. But yeah, she's still stuck in that room because yeah, you're right. Her face is kind of like distorted. It's like wonky. It's not just her. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's interesting though. Like, so I guess if I'm trying to think how to word this. So let's say we get another Backrooms project, right? It's another person coming into it. They would then also be bringing in their psyche, their baggage. Would the entity then take form of their baggage? Or would we, like, let's say,
So
let me pitch it this way, and then you tell me what you think. Okay, let's say somebody else stumbles on the same door that Clark did and walks in through that door. Are they going to see their baggage, or are they also going to see Clark's baggage? Are they going to see the pirate, or is it going to be a manifestation of something that they're bringing in?
I think they would still, that section is there to stay. Because the
So
Backrooms doesn't change.
So it's based on basically where you enter, what you're bringing in for that entity in that area to manifest.
Yeah, but I just like, there's a few thoughts of like, is that what the entities are different? Like we see, they look different. They're kind of, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, we've never seen an example of somebody who has lived next to an opening like that.
Yeah. There's only no clipped in.
Right. On accident.
Yeah.
So it's tough. So I don't know that you could say if somebody fell into that space, it would regenerate. Probably. But
that's what I'm wondering.
But like, but my thought, my proposal there is probably not, because it's outside of time. And so whoever is going to be into that space would have already affected that space. And so the space, yeah, maybe, because then if they are quote unquote in a different period in time in the Backrooms, it could all be manifested around them. Yeah. Whereas Clark's could have been at a different time. But obviously it's not linear like we know it. We don't really always see repeats of the same location. We actually get, remember the comm room the hazmat guy goes into? Yeah. That area is from one of the found footage areas, but it wasn't populated like that. Mm-hmm. But it is directly like that. Yeah. I can't think of another time that's happened. Because I'm just like, it's unique because obviously they're like able to map out the Backrooms. So the Backrooms physically is objective. I'm wondering, is the entity as objective, or is it more like, is that one able to kind of like shift and adjust based on who's going into it? Like, I'm just thinking, just theorizing, like, if you were to go with another project, like, would we see those, or would it be something else? We've never seen somebody impact the space like that. Yeah. It's the first time we've seen that. So I couldn't answer you. That's cool, though. I'd be interested to see what they would do with another project, obviously. Go see Backrooms. God, Backrooms is fantastic.